Hey guys, welcome to a special episode of the Tokushikai Inside Look podcast, where a few of my most important friends and family come together to reminisce on our very first Iaido group trip to Japan in 2007. In this whirlwind 10-day journey across central Japan, we visit castles, shrines, and temples in Osaka, Kyoto, Inari, and Koyasan. We spend a night at the Jigokudani Monkey Park near Nagano. We practice Iaido in Ohara with Trevor Jones Sensei, as well as in Tokyo with Kikkawa Sensei, Yoshimura Sensei, Kuwata Sensei, Hatakenaka Sensei, and Tsubaki Sensei, just to name a few. Through all the walking and all the trains and all the challenges of traveling in a foreign country, we've stuck together as friends for all these years, and the experiences we had on this trip 13 years ago has given us memories of a lifetime. This podcast was created specifically to share meaningful experiences of budo practitioners around the world, and this was an amazing, fun alternative to the traditional one-on-one interviews I've been doing. In fact, if this format seems popular enough, I would love to host a few similar sessions with others in the budo community to talk about their most meaningful trips. One thing to note, since our discussion is conducted while looking at some video and photos we took on this trip, there's also much more context that you can find by watching this video on YouTube. If you continue to listen on the podcast app, audio only, it's still okay. If you want to find this episode on YouTube, go to www.youtube.com/c/Tokushikai Canada. So, without further ado, please enjoy this special episode of the Tokushikai Inside Look podcast on our 2007 trip to Japan. Okay, let's try. I'm going to share my screen and then let's just start playing the video and then we can just see where this goes. So how do we start having this discussion about going to Japan? Because I know that by the time Guelph came around, we were going to ask something. We have to make the connection.
I don't actually remember. The thing I remember most about how this came about was that it was you guys that were spearheading it. It was you and Hannah. You guys had a relationship with Hatakenaka Sensei right off the bat. And I think it sort of came from there. There was suddenly a connection with the sensei in Japan and we wanted to build on that. That's how I remember it anyways.
And how do we connect to Trevor Jones Sensei first? Because that was our first stop. Kev Adams was the one that connected with Trevor. But how did you get?
Oh, because he came here to teach a seminar. But I think it was through, I want to say it was through Carol that
I'm saying Carol.
We sort of made that initial connection. Then we reached out to him, got to know him, and then invited him over to do a seminar. And then it kind of snowballed from there.
I guess Hannah would have been one of the people that really made it work because all of us wanted to go to Japan, but we knew that we needed someone Japanese speaking if we wanted to do it.
Yeah, it was a huge language thing for me anyways. Like for the first few days that we were there before Hannah joined us, I was kind of following along with you guys because, you had a passing understanding of the signage. But yeah, until we actually had a language connection, it was difficult to go very far with it.
Sightseeing Itinerary was done by Angie.
Oh, yeah.
Because we didn't even know a lot of these locations, like Koyasan and the Monkey Park. I don't think we decided. I think she
someone suggested monkeys.
Yeah,
I think that was me actually. I really wanted to see the macaques. If we're going to Japan, we got to see the macaques.
Yeah, actually, I think I remember you were mentioning it.
But what I love about that trip was that it covered the high points for anybody that had not been to Japan before. I mean, we saw the small towns, we saw the macaques, we saw the onsen, we saw the big cities, we saw lots of castles and cultural sites and so on and so on. And so in that, I think it was really well organized.
It was very packed. It's very packed.
Oh yeah, we jammed so much. And what 10 days was it?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And about a third of it was spent on trains?
I just remember we were dragging our suitcases everywhere we were going.
I just still can't believe that Garfield freaking woke me up and I was trying to pretend that I was sleeping on the train.
Where was this? On a train. On a train?
Because we had to pay. And we didn't know. So we got kicked out. I think it's coming up after this.
No, okay, let's actually get there. I'm going to share my whole screen. Yeah, because in the itinerary, as you can see, I copied this photo in. This actually should be when we're traveling from Kansai to Ohara. So we got the JR pass at Kansai Airport, and we could take the regular trains all the way until we get to somewhere local in Okayama. But then we had to take the local train, and that was just the four of us because Kev was arriving later. So we were in the main cabin, and then a guy rolls up and says, "Where's your ticket?" And we show them our JR pass. and it says like, that's not a ticket. This is a local train. It doesn't work here. So then the four of us packed all our gear and we just moved in between trains. And here we are just sitting on the floor.
Well, I was actually sleeping. He wouldn't come to me until Garfield did something.
Wait, so did we know that we weren't allowed to sit?
No, we didn't.
I think we assumed that we were allowed the JR pass. Or yeah.
Well, we were told that it was all good for all the trains. We didn't understand, but there's the local portion. We just hopped on.
So Kev, how did you manage this? Did you actually buy a ticket to get through the local train?
I'm trying to remember now. I remember there wasn't any problem, but I picked up my JR pass at the airport. And I remember speaking to somebody at the counter where I picked it up and showed where I was going and so on. And I think they understood where I was going and they told me that I needed something extra. And the language barrier it wasn't insurmountable, but I just kind of accepted whatever they said and said, okay, sure, here's some more money, give me what I need. So they might have added to the ticket that I actually needed to get there, but I wasn't actually aware of what they were doing. If I were to go through all the paperwork and look at it now, I'd probably be able to confirm that. I think I still have all that stuff around somewhere.
I think because the station has, like, all the trains will go through that. So I think Nozomi and Hikari are covered by JR Pass. But I remember the other one, like the one that you went on.
Yeah, because you can't get to Ohara by JR line. Yeah. And JR Pass only works for JR trains. And it's actually, wasn't it the end of the line or something? Doesn't it come back the same way afterwards? Actually, no. It passes the station and then it comes back. And that's where we get off. I remember to get into Ohara? Yeah. It still goes around U-turns or something. Oh, but actually, we can talk about this photo too, because there's that gun case with all our Iaido. How many Iaido were in that case? I think we bought
all of ours.
But that included Gary and Tax or just Gary's?
Yeah, I think he included Gary's and Tax.
Did they practice? I don't even know. No, they didn't. We just brought it for them in case they wanted to practice. Oh, man. Yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 swords?
That's a lot.
Yeah. We're carrying 8 swords around.
That's a lot to carry around.
Yeah, that case was so heavy. Was it actually 2 cases or 1 case? Actually.
1.
And we actually carried that case around for like half the trip before we finally were about to head to Tokyo, and then we could mail it.
Yeah, I remember we sent it ahead to the hotel in Tokyo.
Yeah. Okay, so we are headed to.
No, wait. How did we send it though?
I thought Trevor Jones helped us.
I think Trevor did.
Yeah. Well, you can send it by mail, and the hotels will just receive it and keep it in there's a truck or something. Yeah. It's a service in Japan. You can send things ahead.
Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember him going to the convenience store and helping us handle that. Yeah, we've used that service pretty much every time now we go to Japan that has a long distance. So we would just mail ahead. And so here 4 of us went first. Trevor picked us up. We went to set up all our luggage at the Musashi Dojo because we were sleeping there. Oh, before that, his car could only fit 3 people plus our whole. I remember that. So basically, 2 people got in the car and it's pitch black already and it's a small town, so there's no lighting. And 2 people had to start walking towards in the middle of the night.
I didn't remember that.
I don't remember that.
The only thing I remember about the size of Trevor's car is there's a photo of all of us trying to cram into it.
I remember that photo.
Yeah. So including our luggage, there's no way we could fit 4 people plus our luggage. So
oh my gosh.
I remember 2 of us were walking and then he dropped people off, came back and picked us up on the way.
I remember Trevor's place was huge.
You know what?
His home was huge.
I think Garfield and I were the first ones there, so you might be right. I don't remember walking, but I do remember being there going, what are we doing? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Garfield and I who ended up there first.
There it is.
yeah. I remember Trevor's apartment was huge.
That's just 5 people. That was no luggage. That was afterwards. Okay, yeah. So Kevin and Garfield were in the car first to drop off, and then he came back to pick us up while we were walking. Yeah. And then later that night, Kev showed up. Wait, did you show up the next day or
the next day? Because I recall in one of the videos I was there because we're the only 4 working right here.
No, there was a video of Kevin saying wait till Kev sees this or something.
Yeah.
Well, we're inside the kitchen or something.
Yeah.
You guys got there I guess the evening of the one day, and I showed up the next day
morning.
What did you guys do that day before I got there?
Well, we showed up, it was already dark when we got there, so
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, we all came from Hong Kong.
Right. Probably slept. Yeah, because I didn't get there until I think the following evening.
Oh, so we spent a whole day
I think so.
before you arrived? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I thought it was shorter. But...
So we did some training, we did walking around. Actually, looking at these pictures, I didn't realize how much walking we did.
Well, do people remember? I was going to actually talk about the training because the Musashi Dojo's walls are just wood planks, and there's no actual, there's nothing in between the planks. So there's actually, the wind can get through easily. It was actually cold. I remember the wind just blowing into the dojo while we're practicing.
I remember the floors being really, really cold.
It was really cold that morning when we woke up.
Yeah.
So this was November. In Toronto, I think it was already quite cool, but we knew that Japan would be a little bit warmer. And I think we were slightly...
No, we brought enough clothing for all the seasons because we brought it for Koyasan as well.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we just weren't used to not having like no central heat, you know?
Yeah.
But no central heat. It's just like, you know, a thin piece of plywood or some paper tissue, you know, for a window or something, you know?
I remember the temperature getting, we got to Ohara, it was cold. And then we went to Koyasan, and so because of the altitude, it was colder. And it just seemed to keep getting colder and colder and colder. Then when you look at the photos from Osaka, we're all wearing t-shirts. So the temperature just jumped dramatically once we got out of the mountains and into the city.
Yeah. Anyone else want to talk about, what do you remember from Ohara, from the walking around?
I don't remember anything about walking around in Ohara.
I do, because I took all these pictures. There's a dude around right here that was he's fishing and was on a bicycle. We walked into the forest here with all the shrines.
Yeah, there's that thing about we found this thing, Musashi no, the grave.
Yeah. I think going into those forest areas, I was expecting there'd be a lot of spiders and spider webs, but there weren't. Those would show up later on in our trip when we go to Inari.
Mm-hmm. This is Budokan.
The Musashi Budokan, you know how the roof, when you look at it from the side, it looks like a kabuto, a helmet. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it from a bird's eye view, then it looks like the Musashi Tsuba.
Mm-hmm.
We went up into the mountains to see it. Do you guys remember going up there?
Yeah,
no.
I have a picture of it.
Really? Yeah, we pulled up to some area. We're still on the side of the road. We looked down from the side of the road.
I'm pretty sure I took a picture of it.
Yeah. I don't think the elevation was enough that we could see the Tsuba shape very well, but you could tell what they were trying to do.
Well, now that you have Google Maps, you could probably see it easily.
Yeah, exactly. Just going back to training at the Musashi Dojo, I mean, it was cold. The floors were freaking cold, and my toes were numb.
That dude
at the end of it, but it was the training there was kind of what you expect when you think about training in Japan. You know, you want to go and be part of the culture that you're partaking in, in your own way here. So to go to Japan and actually train in this traditional dojo, I want to say it legitimizes the practice, but that sounds a little too grandiose. It's what I expect. It's what I envision when I think about training in the Japanese sword. You're in the middle of a, like this rural area in this dojo that's hundreds of years old, and you're freezing your ass off.
It would have only been more authentic if we were doing it on top of a mountain, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, like for me, that was one hell of a way to start off that trip.
I'd rather practice in the cold than in the heat. I don't think that it would have been really terrible if we were to do that in the summertime without any AC. That's my idea.
Well, that dojo definitely has a lot of history behind it itself, but also with us and our dojo, because coming from Umonkai, Omi Sensei, under Haruna Sensei, and so many stories we've heard about people going there.
Mm-hmm.
Not only were we like doing this traditional, but also in a place that has some connection.
Mm-hmm. No, I think Sandra also had a part in helping us with Trevor, because she used to go there to train too, right?
Yeah, a lot of our sensei had trained in the same place before. Like Omi Sensei went there to train before his sometime, was it?
Yeah. Sandra and them had made a trip to Japan that year. That's just like if he started, and it's the year the two Kevins started. Garfield, you started in 2004 or
He started before us.
Oh, maybe, I don't know, maybe slightly before.
I remember
It's the same year. Same year, I think.
Same year, probably, 2004 then.
I started in like the fall of 2005, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started.
Yeah, Kevin was July 2005.
Yeah.
And then the other Kevin was October 2005. Okay, so we did the training. We walked around town. We saw the Musashi Budokan. The other thing I remember from this time in Ohara was we went to the onsen. We were like sitting in the hot tub.
The one in the local hotel.
Yeah, and for some reason, like Trevor just dropped us off there. We ate and then we went in there, and then he's like, "Okay, I'll come back for you."
I don't.
So we
remember
went in
that.
there, and that's when we first started talking about what happens when Sandra leaves. And I think that's when the two Kevins said, "Yeah, I'll try running for president of the club."
Oh my God, really?
I don't ever recall ever being in the onsen.
Yeah, I only slightly remember the onsen.
I remember it was the first Japanese onsen I'd been in. So it was like this small little room. It was just like a box filled with water. But
I remember it was just like, it's not like you're.
Oh, it was like just a normal shower area.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to shower first, and then you can go into the club.
It wasn't like the onsen at Jigokudani. It was, it was more modern.
Yeah, it was inside.
I don't know. I think my mind is playing tricks on me.
I think that was 13 years ago. So
I was going to say 13 years on, if we don't have photos or video of it, it's gone.
Who didn't take the video camera into the onsen with us?
Sorry, man.
I'm sure there's something hidden around there.
The only reason there's video of the onsen in Jigokudani was the hope of seeing monkeys.
Yeah, but that was also open. Yeah, and it was. And
it was outside.
They had indoor and outdoor actually.
Yeah, indoor probably did take pictures.
They had an indoor.
Yeah.
I was so sick that time.
Yeah.
It must have been from the walk, which we'll get to.
It was just so cold.
I don't think it was the walk as well. I think it's just stress from everything, from the flying, from everything, the lack of sleep, because in Hong Kong, I was over there for almost 4 weeks. I was in Hong Kong for a while too.
I was very jet lagged in Hong Kong. Like during that hot pot dinner, I was like dying. I was like falling asleep. Like the couple nights we were in Hong Kong, I was passing out at night.
Well, that's because you were drinking too with my grandfather.
No, that wasn't making me pass out. It was the jet lag.
Yeah, it was a good thing we went a few days earlier just to... Kev would have been quite jet lagged because you went straight from Toronto to Japan.
But it was I don't know, I didn't really feel jet lagged because it was the excitement of what we were about to do.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember feeling jet lagged. I think after a couple of nights sleep, I was fine and ready to go. Ironically, I didn't feel jet lagged until I got home. Then I was a mess for about a week, but going there, it was fine.
Only a week? Every time I come back, it takes months. It's always the same. It's going east is always easier than coming back west.
Yeah.
There's some scientific reasoning behind that.
Yeah. Every trip I've done to Asia, it's been like that. Going there, you hit the ground running and it's fine, but coming back home, it takes a long time to readjust.
Okay, so the last big thing in Ohara was we went to visit Haruna Sensei's house with Trevor. It was one evening, we went to see his wife, and then we went to both his grave outside. Oh, here it is on the video.
That was a really nice house.
Yeah, something about he had built it, raised the ceiling so that he can practice inside.
The other thing that really shows how little I knew of other places was when Trevor said, "I need to get the torch out of the boot." I'm like, what? Because I didn't know that torch was British for flashlight. And boot
was slang for the trunk.
You're not the only one. I
can just picture the look on your face in the dark. Like, what?
It's like, I need to get the torch. I'm like, okay. I guess we are in the outskirts somewhere.
But how awesome would that have been if he'd actually produced an actual torch?
Yeah, I'm picturing like some
That would have
motor
been cool.
right now, going into what's that place with the doors?
No candles at Haruna Sensei's grave. We're gonna have just a torch on either side of it. Go the full Hawaiian.
Yeah, I remember it was so bloody dark.
This was a really cool ceremony. I've never done anything before that, and I haven't done anything since then. Where we're like,
oh, you're pouring the water on.
We're trying to fill up.
Oh, that's the house. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what. I mean, we were obviously putting water there, but what were we doing? Just filling the container or watering the plants, or what were we doing?
Watering the plants. It's also to keep the plants alive.
Right.
Oh, so that creates a channel and the water flows to plants?
Okay, so you pour it into a central area and then it goes to wherever it needs to go. Gotcha.
Yeah, the house.
The house is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can change it. One person?
I imagine there's a pretty steady stream of visitors through there.
I remember we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And we're like,
I think that was the theme for most of the trip.
I was like so worried of hitting that bowl too loud and then like the reverberations.
I always chuckle when I watch this video when the scene where Garfield is paying his respects there, and you see he hits the bowl twice. I don't remember hearing two chimes, but
all right.
It's such an iconic photo of him.
There was no picture of well, you didn't put it in here. I took a picture, but there was a picture of his mark on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Where he used to mark off where to start.
Like where you have a piece of tape normally to stuff to practice. Yeah, the sad thing about that, I think I was talking to Trevor about, was that he built that dojo in his house so that he could practice, but he got sick and then passed away and didn't really even get a chance to use it.
Oh, that's a shame.
So we're headed to Koyasan, I think.
No.
This is
we're going to Himeji.
Yeah.
Here.
Do you guys remember there was this sign that said these are a number of steps from the train station to the castle, and we were counting?
Vaguely.
Not really. Yeah.
Vaguely.
Sometimes, yeah. I remember we wanted to count to confirm the number.
Although I do remember here Patrick looking for a special mon.
No, so yeah, that was the interesting. We were looking through it, and then we found Hannah's mon, the Ikeda mon, and then Kevin was like, "You should get it stamped on this little passport booklet so you can give it to Hannah." I'm like, "What? That's stupid." And then Kevin's like, "No, girls like that kind of stuff," because Hannah and I started dating like 3 months ago, and then yeah, sure enough, I showed Hannah, and she's like, "Aw."
Hey, was this like where you guys bought like, you know, your black trench coats, your overcoats, like in Hong Kong?
Yeah.
Yes. That was like when we were looking at the temperature and we're like, we are totally not packed for winter-like weather. Yeah. So we went in Hong Kong. We went to what was it? It was
Times Square, Zara.
Yeah.
Zara, yeah.
We had the Garfield look.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was inside the castle.
Yep.
It had all those weapons. Yeah.
So actually, in this part of the video, I just rewatched it right before this thing. And it's not shown in this part of the video, but I think at the end of the video, it shows the part where we were faking walking down the steps because the door was so low.
Yeah.
We're walking straight into the...
Yeah, it's at the very end.
The door frame.
You guys could walk underneath it fine, but clearly the one Westerner is going to smash his forehead on it. It's a good gag. Oh, it's a crowd pleaser. Does anybody remember what this little mini festival was?
No, I just remember.
Golden, what is that?
Now, this one I do remember. This is where we tried to give a tip and the lady ran out giving us the money back.
Yeah, that I remember that, Joe. I was gonna mention that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we left a tip after lunch.
Because Trevor had said you don't need the tip. Don't tip. It's bad. Oh, we won't listen to him. We'll tip. And then we left and he's like, what is she gonna do? Run out?
Yeah.
And only she ran out and she was mad and he's like, here, you left your money. What?
She was just like,
I think this is when I really started liking Japanese curry.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
But it's actually not here, but more of the ones in the train stations.
Well, I think I was really liking from Koko Ichiban, that chain.
Oh, the curry place?
Yeah.
Now we're heading into Koyasan.
Where is the fried chicken? There was a fried chicken vending machine.
Vending machine? Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the French fries.
Yeah, you got...
How long
they weren't good,
How long did
right?
you have to wait for that? Like 4 or 5 minutes or something while it heated it up?
And I think Michael got it, and then the train was starting to come in, and it wasn't ready yet.
I kind of remember, yeah. We had to rush.
There, so
Yeah, Hannah was already there, so it would have been later in the trip. Yeah. But yeah, like Hannah was so worried that we're gonna miss the train, and we were like, "It's coming! The fries are coming!" Yeah, definitely the fries.
So Koyasan is, we haven't gotten to it yet, but Koyasan is the site of one of the funniest things from this trip, I think.
I remember here was toilets are outside in the freezing.
Don't you remember there's two toilets? There's actually Western style and Japanese style where you have to
Yeah, no, I used the Western, and it was so cold at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, heated tables, man.
The whole place was cold, right?
Okay, so
yeah, here we didn't know what we were doing.
Down to dinner.
Yeah, well, no one told us.
You wore your pajamas down, except for me.
Yeah.
I said, you know,
and the next shot is Garfield basically saying you guys are idiots.
All right, he's not wearing it.
That was funny. We
Okay.
liked it.
I remember a post about Koyasan, that hotel anyway, or that's a Buddhist temple, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all temples.
The shoji doors, the paper is actually so thin that every time we went to reach to open a door, if you slipped and your finger hit the paper, it goes
You
right
poke a hole through it.
Yeah, so we kept poking holes in the door.
You did?
That was so constantly, like every single time, knowing that.
I was reading something a while ago, like hotels and places that use shoji for doors and so on and so on. There's a booming cottage industry. Well, I don't know if you call it cottage industry in Japan for repairing of those. Like they're constantly repairing them.
I remember reaching for the door and thinking, "Don't poke a hole, don't poke a hole," and
Ink.
Way to go, Michael.
Actually, I had forgotten until this time, until you said it. There were so many.
I remember wondering where the rest of the food was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was good though. I remember it being really, really good.
Mostly, it was all vegetarian, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was vegetarian.
Kevin, you look so cold. Actually, everyone looked cold.
Yeah.
I look cold.
I was tired.
And that was after we had done. I don't, did everybody do the morning meditation? I can't remember. I did.
Oh yeah, we did.
I slept through it.
Yeah, well, yeah, Kevin was there and he fell asleep. He was snoring.
Well, there's a photo. There's a few photos back. There's a picture of him. It looks like we're trying to get him out of bed.
We had to sit in Seiza during the meditation, right?
That's right.
Remember our feet. There was something really painful about that, the morning meditation.
It was really early and it was really cold. And we were in that position, yeah.
The Yakuza shot?
That Yakuza shot cracks me up every time. There it is. We're all dressed and ready to go. He's like, what?
Yeah, that's Kevin still waking up while Garfield's already fully dressed. I thought where's the video?
I will say though that it was cold, but the duvets that we had, they were all so warm. Like once you burrow in there, it was fantastic.
You just don't ever want to come out from under.
Never want to come out.
And you guys forced me to get out.
If we were going, you were going.
All right. So
yeah, so we're in the cemetery at this point.
That place was huge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, there's several hundred years of people interred there. I remember seeing the Tokugawa Mausoleum and being underwhelmed. I mean, it was very understated, which is typical, but for some strange reason, I guess as a Western, I sort of expected it to be a little more grandiose. But as cemeteries go, here we are in Osaka.
I remember so little about Osaka.
It was so quick, but I remember lots of ramen.
Was that the one where Tak wanted to go to?
Gary and Tak joined up with us.
Yeah, they went to Spa World.
Yeah.
But then Kevin couldn't go in because of the tattoos.
Now, was that in Osaka or was that somewhere else? Because I do remember that.
Oh, I do remember this trip.
I remember Hannah trying to fast talk my way in and then just having none of it.
Because this is, she hadn't, because I remember Patrick worrying, like trying to get that he had to go get Hannah and take all these trains and whatnot.
Yeah, so that was after this. So right now we're in Kyoto and we're doing like the tour around to the different places.
And then Tozando.
I left like halfway through this to go get Hannah.
I think that first night in Osaka was we were just kind of hanging out and acclimating to a more urban setting. I remember being a little culture shocked, coming from idyllic mountain shrines and small rural towns to being in a modern city.
Yeah.
In November, right?
Yeah.
Kyoto was gorgeous, though. I remember the one thing I remember about that tour that we took, apart from all the cultural sites that we saw, was a comment that our tour guide made about there being a civil ordinance that they couldn't build new buildings over a certain height.
Yep. And
Because
that's
they
why
wanted to
they're so
preserve the original skyline or something to that effect.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
I wouldn't have remembered until you said it.
And autumn in Japan, man, like you can't beat it.
I think I remember the tour guide saying that there was like more women than men too, so that if you were wanting to find a wife, you should like go live there.
In Kyoto?
I remember that, yeah. No, in Japan.
Yeah, there's a golden temple. I remember this.
This was in Kyoto?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember there was a silver one as well that we didn't get to see.
Yes. I just read about it recently. I think the silver is not actually made out of silver.
No, silver is actually wood.
Yeah. And I couldn't figure out what type of bug that was. That was a huge bug.
Like a moth bee thing.
Oh yeah, and the kids just like posing for you. Tazando.
Basically yelling at us in broken English.
Take picture.
We came to Tazando, but we didn't buy anything, right? We just
No.
I was hoping to see if we could get like some club discount.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Never
I
worked.
seem to remember people potentially wanting to buy stuff, but not being satisfied.
I did end up, I think, buying from them, but not just didn't get any discount or anything because.
Well, I guess we also, you already have your sword. Like, what else do you need? Right?
I wasn't happy with it. It was too heavy.
Yeah.
So these girls dressed in kimono is for the Shichiko-san, so 357. When kids get to that age, there's a special celebration. This year, actually, next week, we should be in Japan at that point for Atsuki's 7th.
Oh wow!
Celebration. Yeah, we had our tickets booked and all that, but then COVID happened in March, so canceled.
Well, dress her up and take pictures.
Yep. This was the Kiyomizu.
Yep.
So I remember once with our family, so I don't remember coming with you guys. I think
you had already left.
Oh, laundry.
Oh, I have fond memories of that laundry.
Oh, this is when we're eating onigiri.
Oh yes, I think that was the first time I ever had onigiri, and we were thoroughly impressed with it.
I think this is when Hannah told us how to open an onigiri.
Oh,
Breaking it all up.
Oh yes,
Look.
we had it before at this point, but
we unwrapped it and
mangled it all up and took it all apart and reassembled it, and then Hannah was like, "What are you doing?"
you just pull it like that.
which is normal. Like Hannah says that to us a lot. What are you guys doing?
It's so weird, yeah, because like nowadays it's so easy to find these type of onigiri, but our minds were blown the first time that happened. Like you can actually have the nori separated from the rice in the same packaging, and then you can put it together and the nori still crispy.
Like I work in packaging design, and I remember the first time I saw how Hannah showed us how it all came apart, and I just blew my mind.
Yeah, now you can buy them here. Although they're usually never that fresh.
No.
So before we continue on, there's this part actually, because so I can talk about when I went to pick up Hannah, and then I actually don't really know what you guys did when I was gone, so I would like to hear that too. So I went from Kyoto to Tokyo one way. I think that's like 3 hours. And then I met up with Hannah at Tokyo Station, and then we came back, and we were trying to do the same thing where there's the different speeds of Shinkansen, and the JR Pass works for everything except for the fastest one. But it was like late at night, and there was no one on the train, so we just hopped on to the fastest one and just waited for the ticket person to come by. And then when they came by, and I pretended to be a foreigner, I am a foreigner, showed them the JR Pass, and then they're like, no, you can't do that. So then Hannah and I got off the train. I think we're already 3/4 of the way back, and then just waited for the slower train to arrive for us to go back on.
Oh,
Worked out well.
I do recall you saying that.
What's the price difference for that?
I think it's like $30, 3,000 yen or something like that.
I just like seeing like the speed digital readout, like saying it's like 200 kilometers an hour or 300 kilometers an hour, something crazy thing like that. It's like you're basically on a plane.
It never felt like that though.
Yeah, you don't. It's so smooth.
Yeah.
Well, this is a way to the. Oh no, this is the way to.
At this point.
Yeah, this is going to Omi Sensei's first.
I think we're lugging our suitcases up and down those stairs.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was heavy.
I
was dying that day
because I just had my backpack and I was just bounding up the steps. And
There's the dojo.
Yeah, we were like, where the hell's this dojo? We're just like lugging our suitcases around.
I think this is when I started getting sick, and I was getting more and more exhausted.
Look at all those bags.
No.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I think this trip is where we started doing the guns.
Yeah, that's when I want to say that's when it started.
I loved Inari.
Oh, we parked our gear in some.
Oh, we put it in a train station, right?
Yeah.
We put the coin lockers or something.
Because we're not carrying it here.
Right. So this was where me, Michael, Hannah, and Garfield, we were just walking, and we're like, where are the Kevins? Oh, they're just taking pictures. You guys kept lagging further and further behind, and we're like, oh, the hell with it. We're just gonna keep going. And then I think we spent the rest of the time there separate from you guys.
Yeah, no, I think we took the wrong turn.
Yeah, because you guys went into the forest.
Yeah.
I remember Garfield complaining, like, this is not how we're supposed to go or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went somewhere else. We kept going and going until the spider webs got bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
and then it got to the point where I think we had to like duck in order to cross to continue. And we're like, okay, we're going back.
Yeah.
These are some really nice pictures though. As much as like.
So they shot Memories of a Geisha there, I guess. They had some scenes from that movie, I think.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to spend my time there a little bit more.
Oh my God, that walk at night.
Well, before that, before we even got there, this is when ninja photography, just coming back from
ninja photography. I remember something.
I remember that, but I don't remember the circumstances. Please.
We were. There's pictures on it.
And, just trying to take pictures of like all the cute girls wherever we were.
Oh right? Yeah, that's right.
But like pretending to be subtle about it, you know.
Or taking pictures without actually looking into the eye viewer.
That's right.
Oh,
I just specifically remember doing that in Kyoto.
Like this one right here.
Like especially at the Heian shrine.
I don't know if that was intended, but there's definitely ones where I have a picture of Garfield or something like that, and then he would walk away kind of and then take a shot of somewhere, and then I have a picture of Hannah as well, and then it was like I just dubbed it ninja photography.
Yes, I don't remember that. We went there before we even started Kyoto. I had no idea about that. I think so. Sanjusan Gendo like is known for Kyoto, and there's that big hallway where it's like legendary if you're able to shoot an arrow that gets all the way across, because it has a very low ceiling, so you can't arch it very much.
That was the temple with with the big Kannon sculpture, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
I vaguely remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're heading towards Nagano and the monkey park. This is a story of a lifetime. I just want to see who wants to start it off.
So if I could just preface this, it's ironic that we're doing this now because a few months ago at work, one of the things that we were doing for our video meetings was sharing past vacations, photos and videos and such, so that we could all live vicariously through each other's vacation photos because nobody could go on vacation now. And so I started researching, going back and trying to refresh my memory on a lot of the stuff that we did for this trip. I shared the video, but I was going to do a proper video essay as well. And I was researching the Jigokudani Monkey Park, and the travel site that I was looking at said only that you can access the bus to go back into Nagano via a mountain path. And that's all the information you get. Doesn't say anything about the, like the cliff face, doesn't say anything about how narrow the path is, doesn't say anything about how damn slippery it is in the rain.
It was pitch black.
Because it's not the official path. We took the completely wrong path because...
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Remember? That's the story. Okay, so...
Well, no. We were asking, and somehow they just said, "Oh, this is where you go," and pointed. So we got off the bus and we walked in that direction.
And it was already dark. So it was already dark. We started up the mountain path. So we were going up the path because we were also waiting for a bus to come.
Oh, right.
So every time a car was driving by and their headlights like flashed behind us, we're like, oh, is that the bus?
It turns.
And then it turns, yeah. Oh, man. So we just kept walking and then we see a sign, and of course, Hannah's the only one that could recognize any characters. And there was a sign saying, yeah, okay, we're headed in the right direction. But then...
Generally.
And it was like pitch black then, and then it started to rain.
Yeah, rain and snow.
Rain, snow mix.
And the only reason we had any light was because I had brought a headlight and a flashlight. Mm-hmm. And this was before...
About your torch?
Yes, I had a torch and a headlamp that I actually had it tied to my head. That's the only way. And a note about this is, besides Kev, everyone else's bag luggage was one of those wheeling ones. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, so we were walking, and then like for some reason we got off the road. I think the road ended or something. So we're now on grass or mud road, and we're walking, and we're like, okay, this should be the direction. And then at some point we were looking around. On one side, it was steep hill going upwards where we're not going to climb up. And on the other side, it was like a cliff going downwards, which we later on know that's where the river was running. So I don't remember, did any of us think about turning back, or were we all just keep going?
No, we were too tired and hungry.
It was late, we were tired and we were hungry, and we knew we were going in generally the right direction. So it just made better sense to keep going. But I do remember we had a conversation about it. We had a very brief conversation, like, hey, what should we do?
Yeah, but we were hiking with our luggage.
I mean, if I want to remember something, it's I wasn't happy. Just traveling in the dark, not knowing where we're going and when we're going to get there.
In a foreign country.
Are we actually going to make it, or are we going to fall off the cliff?
And it eventually did open up, and we saw it in the distance. And I think that there was this metal railing that we had to cross in order to get and we didn't even know if that was like something that is currently being used, like you can actually use it, or something that's super old and we just collapse under any weight. Yeah, I remember that. But then we crossed it, we got inside, and remember something like the owners of the ryokan were saying, oh, I thought you guys wouldn't make it, or I thought we scheduled it.
We expected you hours ago.
That took at least half an hour.
And then they said, well, why don't you take the bus or something?
When we come back, because at the end of the trip, we realized on our way back.
If we gone from the other direction, then there was a bus that dropped you almost right up.
There's actually a paved road that we can walk down.
Yeah.
We're in the mountains.
I recall when we left, we were going, hey, this would have been a lot easier if we took this.
Yeah, in the morning.
Oh, so this is where we're looking for the bus. And I remember we barely got any food here because this is all leftovers. And then there was the guys behind us, the other foreigners.
Yeah, there was the other foreigners. They'd actually finished. We got there really late.
Yeah.
We had the teriyaki grasshoppers there.
I was going to say that I seem to remember eating some insects as part of that meal.
But I did not eat it.
No.
And the whole bottle of sake. Someone had too much sake that night.
Oh yeah, I remember having.
Yeah, I remember waking up feeling like crap right about now.
It was raining when we were walking, was lucky, and then it's like blanket blizzard the next day.
I was so stupidly excited to see the snow. Like I hate snow, but just seeing it in that setting at that moment was just like, wow, this is awesome.
This is like Michael.
In a pond.
Outdoor onsen in the mountains when it was snowing.
Yeah. This particular stop on our trip is, for me, it's what it's all about. This is just amazing.
I was more like, are you guys crazy? I'm not going up.
Right, you guys, Garfield and Kevin didn't go into the.
Yeah, no, I didn't go. I don't know where I went instead. Maybe I just stayed indoors because I was freezing.
Until the monkeys came out.
I do have to say that still, to this day, it has been one of the most memorable, at least to get to see the monkeys so close.
We were right up close with them.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that either Michael or Patrick took pictures that I'm actually in with the monkeys.
Yeah, you were there.
Pretty good ones. Yeah, it was so interesting because we didn't see any monkeys first thing, and then they just started coming down the mountains.
When I put this video together, that was the one thing that I remembered about when the macaques started appearing. It was very gradual, and then you look up and onto the ryokan. Oh, there's one, and then you look around. Oh, there's one, and then they just suddenly appeared. So it was like a slow build. It was fantastic.
To this day, I still find those pictures, and I give them out. Hey, yeah, look at the monkeys, the snow monkeys.
Yeah, that last video was like you were so close. Oh, this is when
they didn't always like us close though.
Well, they're probably used to people, so.
Although Kev didn't put on some of the other videos of what the monkey was doing.
Yeah, look at this one. I think it was me. Yeah. I got a little too close, and then this monkey like tried to scare me.
Busy grooming. You got.
But I think I got a lot closer than you did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I don't know why. Maybe because it was grooming the baby.
But Kevin always had the lens, maybe.
I noticed that when they were busy, if they were eating, they didn't really care if you got close. They didn't have a problem with walking close to us if we were, sort of in their path and they were on their way somewhere. But the grooming seemed to be that they took issue with anybody coming too close.
Because there is a picture of me, and I was really there's a picture of him doing something to himself.
How do you know?
And this is the last macaque. See, I got really close.
Yeah. Well, Kev has one too with the video camera.
Yeah, there's a few videos where one walks within inches.
Yeah, there.
That one. Yeah.
And this is towards at least later on, you guys decided to go up into the forest and you had to pay something. I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
We turned around when we saw we had to pay.
Well, there's so many monkeys.
We also didn't have time. I think we had to continue on
catch a bus or something.
It's so interesting that they're all on the pipes, bringing the hot water down.
Like the warm spot.
Yeah, here, I was like, we did this walking before and the night before. I'm not doing anymore. And then the sun started to come out.
Yeah, there's a shot later on that I really like. You can see the autumn leaves on the left, and then the snow-covered mountain on the right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the snow is in the shadow of the mountain and hasn't been melted by the sun yet.
Yeah.
That was our last monkey that we saw along the way back.
Well, there was one I think there was one in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah, that one then.
Yeah, just hanging out.
All right, so that's Nagano. Now we're headed
to Tokyo. So there's a huge gap in here because I don't know if we actually took any photos of it or any video, but we're completely missing Hakone.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was such a short layover, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we went
there for like a few hours or something. Right?
Yeah.
Well, we went to the onsen there.
We went to the onsen, so we couldn't really take our cameras with us.
Yeah.
So as a result, my memory of that is a little shaky because there's no record of it.
It was very theme parky, right? Because you had you had the different colored water and stuff like that. And
like
the wine.
The red wine.
Yeah, that was kind of weird,
Yeah.
We were only literally there for maybe only 2-3 hours in the water before we had to go.
You guys didn't wake up for this.
We slept in. We didn't.
I was feeling like crap still, right?
I remember 5 a.m. being so excited to go and do this, and then when the time came to actually get up to go and do it, I was like, "No, you guys."
Yeah, I think we tried to wake you up.
Take lots of pictures.
Is it 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m.?
Something like that.
We had to wake up at like 4 something a.m. to take a taxi to Tsukiji.
But this no longer exists, right?
Yeah, right.
No longer, it's gone.
They moved it. Yeah, they moved it.
I don't remember even getting that close. I don't remember even.
Well, so they because of all the foreigners afterwards, like years after this, they stopped all the foreigners from going onto the floor.
Oh, because it got in the way of business being conducted.
Yeah. Although I do remember this.
This is the ninja photography of the flight attendants.
Do I have pictures of that?
Well, there's the one in the back there, right? In the jumpsuit.
Who took that picture?
So we were in the cafeteria, and then this whole bunch of flight attendants. We're at so this is the JAL Airlines. Yeah, because they trained. There was Iaido and Jodo training there. We were there for Iaido.
These weren't pictures of you guys. This was just pictures of the flight attendants in the back.
Actually, was this the trip where we were training there and there was a women's basketball going on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's ninja photography going on in these shots. It's a whole different experience now.
Man, looking at these two, Tsubaki Sensei, Yoshimura Sensei, they look so young too.
Yeah.
They're what, 60 then?
Hatakenaka Sensei, she looks so young too. Yeah. Oh man, this took so long.
There's so many great shots from being in that store.
What was going on here? So we took a group photo.
It was a group photo from Guelph, I think.
Oh, okay.
And everyone signed it.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want to buy a picture frame only to have it broken because of our adventure. So we had this picture and we needed to go find a picture frame and we couldn't find a good one.
And you had to trim the photo to make it fit whatever was available, didn't you?
I don't recall. It's just
a really long time ago. I remember.
Thinking back now,
this would have been at Yodobashi camera.
Yeah.
You carried this from Toronto or from Hong Kong?
From Toronto to Hong Kong to. Oh wait, it may not have been me. It may have been Michael because I saw Michael carrying the Benetton. It was a green bag. I think that was in several pictures before. Maybe it was a G2000 bag.
This is after practice. Was this going to This is going to lunch. So after we practice that, I'm guessing Hatakenaka Sensei's dojo, the school.
Had sushi, right?
We're going to sushi. Yeah.
Japanese people only.
I think that was a
Blow.
Shampoo, shave, and blow. Yes.
Yeah, that's my kind of a haircut.
The Japanese people only sign was at Tsukiji. And this is where we were having sushi. We had to leave all our swords at the front.
Oh my god, what's his name?
I don't remember.
Tsunoda. Yeah, that
Was this that gel?
Jowl, yeah, because it says jowl at the top. Jowl rabbits.
Yeah. And yeah, he was there.
Kubota? No. Kuwata?
Kuwata Sensei.
Yeah. Kuwata Sensei and Kikkawa Sensei.
Yeah, who passed away.
I know.
Oh, Yuri is there.
Yeah, Yuri is there.
Too bad we couldn't get a group shot with the flight attendants. Just saying.
Oh, we were giving them the dream catchers.
Right.
So young. Oh. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I remember this.
Happy birthday.
He's funny when he's drunk.
So what was this? A dinner afterwards, and then all the senseis and all this other practitioners.
We're at a pub.
Is this the dinner after the Taikai?
No, this is before the Taikai.
Before the Taikai?
Like we went there after the practice at Jal.
Because there was so much practicing because of the Taikai coming up.
Yeah.
That's why everybody was together.
Well, wasn't there a grading at the Taikai as well?
Mm-hmm.
He hit himself in the face.
Singing and
Serenading the birthday boys.
That's true. Oh, yeah. So that was our birthday. And Hannah told them, and then everyone sang happy birthday to us.
Didn't you kiss? Didn't someone kiss?
I don't recall.
The Tokyo Budokan.
That's selective memory.
Mouth to mouth kiss?
All these people waiting.
No pictures, no evidence. Didn't happen.
That's right.
Tokyo Budokan. Did you go to this? No.
No, I got sick.
We were brought there we couldn't speak with her. So we were trying to translate and couldn't really understand.
Yeah, I was sick, so I had to see my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
So this was the Kanto area Iaido Taikai. There's some
I seem to remember there being lots of ninja photography going on here as well.
Yeah, there's a.
There we go.
But yeah, instead of critiquing the eye, we were like saying, "Oh yeah, she's cute."
But though this is yeah.
What was his name again?
Yuri.
That's right.
He's on my Facebook. I see him once in a while.
So she was at
Yes, in Montreal.
Montreal.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of those. Yoshimura Sensei, I think he got 3rd place or something like that on this.
Yeah, 3rd or 2nd?
Yeah.
I think 2nd. I think it was in the final.
This is a Shodan.
Yes, because we were calling them Shodan Girl and
Oh
Sandan.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, we were all in our like late 20s, early 30s and single, kind of.
You weren't.
Yeah. Kevin did leave Siwan for her birthday. It's like, hey, this year I'm going to be in Japan during your birthday.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, she was also not very impressed when I didn't come back.
Yeah, we get to
Missed the
the fight. Garfield was so angry at the time.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
This is the soba noodle shop.
Standing soba.
Tachi soba.
Tachi soba, it was
I
like,
still think that's an amazing idea.
I think it was like the first day we got there, and then we were talking to, no, actually, even planning this trip before we got there, Hatakenaka Sensei was like, yeah, you guys have to try Tachi soba, because she knew it was our first time kind of going to Japan to do this. And she's like, Tachi soba, and we're like, what?
I think this is the first time where I had experienced having to like pay the vending machine for the ticket, first, and then giving it to the people for my food, that kind of
Oh,
thing.
I think we did that through the train rides too. I remember getting curry like that. And then Akihabara.
When did we start getting corn soup?
Yeah, corn soup.
I think I got corn soup my first stay in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't Kyoto Station too or something? I remember we were asking Garfield, like,
It was Kyoto
what does it
Station.
taste like? He's
I
like,
don't know.
tastes like corn soup.
And it's warm.
Yeah,
It was warm.
a can of corn soup.
That's good shit.
This is the
Yeah, outtakes.
A little montage at the end. Ah, Trevor.
You look so young.
We all do.
Yeah, it has to have been started here. But what started it?
the trip.
No, the guns.
Oh,
The finger guns?
I thought only Sensei did it or something.
No, we got Omi Sensei to do
No,
it.
he started doing it because we were doing it.
Yeah.
I think Trevor Jones Sensei.
Was there a movie that we watched?
No, you know what?
Okay, I don't know if this is where it started, but I remember.
Yeah, it's here.
This is the Musashi thing because
we started the
statue.
Musashi thing.
Yeah,
and then we started guns, I think.
There's a video clip in the year-end video that I did for, I think it was, what year was it? 2006, I guess. And there's a clip of Omi Sensei doing a dramatic double point at the camera, and I think that's where guns started.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Well, I remember we got him a T-shirt with his face and guns.
No, it was from that video. It was from that video clip.
No, I remember the other video that it was like really really long that you made of like our Iaido club.
Yeah, the year-end
showing
video.
it. Yeah, and we were showing it to the people in Guelph, and everyone was like so impressed with it.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Oh, here I remember it was like we're
Godzilla at the laundromat. Oh, that's a nice pose, actually. That's a nice picture.
were we posing for that, or were we just doing random stuff?
This is Michael running.
No, it's Patrick.
Oh, Patrick.
Wait,
Chasing away the birds.
That's Patrick.
Oh.
That's your backpack.
Kyoto.
Oh, this is funny. The expression. Whoa!
Oh, this is your forest path in Inari.
Yeah.
Wow, it looks like a path. That definitely looked off trail.
That's when ninja photography started around here.
So many trains.
Oh yeah.
Monkey.
Was that a time photo or somebody took it? Maybe it was.
I can't remember.
This is one of my favorite photos. This is not the
We're on our way back, right? Kind of.
I'm surprised there isn't more of this.
Yeah, okay, this is ninja photography here that night.
Oh, that's a nice photo.
Yeah, I like this one.
I'm amazed how much video we actually got because this
Yeah.
was 2007. We had to use like handhelds. Yeah, there's no camera.
No, we had my Sony HD camera.
Yep.
Yeah, but we had to use stuff like that. It's not camera phone or anything. It's not.
Aw.
I
That's
took
where
that
you put
picture.
laundry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here's the
Serious. Oh.
model shots. I think this was when we went to Tsukiji. You guys were doing your, but this was at.
No, that was at night.
Yeah, that was like our first night at the hotel, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so tired.
And I recall the smoking and the internet cafe type of booth.
A free drink menu. Yeah, this was her birthday. Wasn't it they were asking like both of them? Like 2 birthdays? No, Papa.
For some reason, I remember that a bunch of people didn't actually realize you were brothers. For some reason. I don't know why I'm remembering.
How is that
possible? I don't know.
Oh, that's Koyasan. Well, I like this part. Look, see, everyone's like taking their beers and it's like, let's cheers. And Kikkawa Sensei here is like, oh, I'm just gonna keep eating.
I don't know these people.
Who's that old woman giving the thumbs up?
Hey, that's mommy.
That's old mommy, right?
She's 23.
That's right.
You have her well trained.
I was gonna say.
Teaching your kids to lie is not a nice thing.
Hey,
We didn't seem to get a lot of video footage of us or camera footage of us like in Tokyo.
We didn't film. We didn't have enough time.
Yeah, I think we were just busy either training or going from one place to the other with the senseis.
I remember one night I went up to go find my friend, and Garfield and I went to go dinner. Remember the Japanese barbecue?
Oh yeah, Meiji-jin.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. And then like you got mad because like, you know, they weren't serving you quick enough, so you like stabbed your knife into the
chopsticks.
Oh, chopsticks, whatever. Yeah.
Oh yes, I remember seeing the Kyoto there too.
Yeah, it was so cool because it's 2 levels. So you could shoot at the second level and you can shoot at the bottom level.
Yeah.
And it's open. So if your arrow falls from the upper level, it can actually fall down into the lower level.
Shoot at somebody else's target.
Yeah. Yeah, this trip, the most memorable would be Nagano, the monkey park.
Mm-hmm.
And Ohara, yeah, Tokyo. Actually, the big cities, I don't remember much about them. Osaka.
I remember the girls were cuter in Osaka than in Tokyo.
Oh, wasn't that the place where they're all wearing stockings?
That was in Tokyo. Because we were looking for maid cafes.
I remember it was cold. Remember it was like cold outside, but then they were still wearing short shorts and
knee-high socks.
Yeah.
That's good. Wouldn't that be Tokyo when we're looking for maid cafes? Because I remember walking in Tokyo and being stopped in the crosswalk or something, and they're giving out flyers.
Yeah, there is a photo of us at a crosswalk where there's like a crossing guard has stopped us with their sign.
That was right after Yodobashi camera. Maybe that one.
Oh, because we went to like all the major touristy kind of centers in Tokyo, right?
Not.
No, we didn't go to.
No. We breezed through Akihabara.
Akihabara.
That was like maybe 20 minutes worth.
Yeah.
Did we go to the Shibuya crossing?
No, I didn't.
I think we ended up being near there, Garfield, when we were that night.
Because there's like the Hachiko dog statue outside.
I don't think we knew about it, but I think we were around there.
Oh.
That was the second trip, Garfield.
Oh, second trip.
We met your brother there.
Oh, okay.
And we had a teppanyaki or something.
Oh, right. Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm going to bed now.
Yeah, actually, part of the trip, I kind of mixed it up with the Japan trip we went in 2009.
Yeah. I don't know. All my Japan trips kind of blend together a little.
Same here.
I do remember one, I don't remember where exactly, had McDonald's and had a pork sausage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because normally you would only have pork, like you only have that in the morning for breakfast in Canada, but they had it for lunch.
No, it was a burger. It was a sausage burger or something.
But it tastes the same as your sausage McMuffin. That was in Japan?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's when you went to go get Hannah.
Oh, maybe.
Because I remember this is where Garfield's story about the big roll.
Oh, the Fudumaki.
Yeah.
Is that where that started? We always have those.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, they had one giant, like a place where they had giant Fudumaki.
Yes, that's it.
So good.
Yeah, we had a sushi in Osaka.
Yeah.
Still the best sushi I've ever had. Like that little joint that we went into, it was just so good.
I don't remember.
Did we do a Kaitan sushi place as a group?
No.
No.
Okay.
Although we did go buy out 7-Eleven when we went to go see Trevor Jones. That was the first time we ever had sushi from 7-Eleven. We're like, oh my god, this is better.
I don't think it wasn't 7-Eleven. It was the other chain with the blue and green.
Family Mart.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Close enough, but enough that they had better sushi at the convenience store than we have at the mall.
Yeah, the convenience store sushi is not bad.
In Japan.
And I remember coming back, well, at least coming back from Asia and driving around. I think my dad picked me up. No, someone else picked me up. And I was like, I felt not claustrophobic. I felt the opposite of claustrophobic.
Agoraphobic?
Yeah.
There was way too much space. Like it felt like this is wrong. There needs to be more buildings tightly closer together. And there's just way too much open space. And it took a while to get used to because, being in Asia for so long is like coming back, it was like a shock.
You were saying before about how the Japan trips start blending together after a while. Every single time that I've gone to Tokyo, the stuff that I've been doing has been centered in Shinjuku. So I've actually stayed at the Washington Hotel.
Yep, I've been there. I stayed there
5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
I've done more in Shinjuku than we did that first time. Like, wandering around, drinking heavily in Golden Guy. But
yep, I did that a couple times.
When was the last time each of you guys went to Japan?
2 years ago. I went
3 years ago.
2017, 2018. I went last year.
You went for a J-pop thing, or is that a K-pop thing you went?
No, Garfield.
Yeah, I did a Korea Japan trip with my LA buddies. We were there for K-pop stuff in Seoul, and then we went to Japan as well, just for the fun of it.
Yeah, last time I went to Japan, I think I stayed at the Washington one night, but that's actually a really long walk from Shinjuku Station. Yeah. If you carry luggage too, like luckily there's an underground, but still it's such a long walk.
Yeah, it's a little bit off the path. There's closer.
Yeah, I've stayed at a closer one, Sunroot Plaza.
Yeah, I think I've stayed there before too.
Going back when you said Shinjuku Hotel, now I recall sending our swords to Shinjuku. I just don't remember.
around all the luggage.
You know, one place that I like to visit, you know, but I never stayed there, but I just went to visit, was like the Shinjuku Park Hyatt Hotel. That's where they filmed. That's where they filmed the most of the movie for Lost in Translation.
All right. So you drank at the bar.
Yeah, and I went up to the bar cigar place up on the top, you know, where they were like shooting for a lot of scenes of the movie. So it was a really, really nice, beautiful hotel. It was very expensive though. They had a cover charge, and of course they gouge you on the price of the cigars too.
Of course.
But it was an incredible view.
Yeah, this is one of those trips where you have to go when you're young enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can survive this type of travel.
No, I wouldn't survive that. I wouldn't survive that now.
There's a picture. I remember of all the sandals and shoes and at the.
Oh, is that a photo of Trevor's place?
Oh, there's the shoes. Where?
There, yeah. Scroll down to the bottom of your screen.
This one's his place.
Oh, this is his
There
place.
you go.
I don't
really big.
remember.
I remember being amazed at how Spartan it was furnished, and then seeing his shelf of DVDs.
I don't ever remember being in there.
Well, we've been there twice, so I think we stayed there. Here's where Trevor was helping us mail the swords.
All right.
That's cool that you could buy cigarettes anywhere you wanted to, and they had all the cigarette vending machines everywhere.
Probably not the case now, or
I don't know.
I don't know. I think you're right though. This kind of trip would be very demanding. I mean, it is the kind of travel that I like to do.
There's no way I'm going to ever do that. That was the one and only time that demanding.
Yeah, like if I was going to do something like this again, there wouldn't be any martial arts training happening, and so I wouldn't have extra clothing to carry around. Like it would be super, super lightweight traveling.
I think we did too much.
Well, the most obvious thing was that Kev came without a suitcase that had wheels, and the rest of us did. So it just showed how little we knew what this kind of trip was about. Yeah,
I don't think anybody had done this kind of trip before. So, how can you predict what you're going to need to do? Like just carrying a backpack only is just the way I travel. So
yeah, but you didn't also go to Hong Kong. I had to bring everything from.
Of course.
Actually, no, I think I left stuff in Hong Kong.
You left stuff you didn't have to, because the four of us went back to Hong Kong before we went back to Toronto. Oh, we didn't talk about that. Oh yeah. Kevin missed his flight.
Oh yeah, tell me about that. I don't think I ever got the story of that.
Well, we ended up having to go meet up with Kevin's grandparents again for lunch.
Well, they're not having to. We were living at their.
Yeah. So it was the right thing to do, but then we also had those stupid.
No. Okay, let's start from the beginning of that day. So we had ordered all the bobbleheads. The bobbleheads. And we figured, okay, well, we go there at 11 in the morning, pick them up, and come back and have lunch, and then we'll go. We went there, and it was closed. They don't open till 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Wow.
So what did we do? Okay, well, my grandparents said, oh, we'll go to the hotel, and we'll have a buffet lunch. We're like, all right. We went to Central, dropped off our luggage. So we checked in, and then I figured, okay, well, I should have enough time to go to and I just can't remember the plaza name right now. And I picked them up, but I had also all my bag, the rolling bags, my camera gear. So it was weighing me down a lot. Garfield had gone on ahead took the airport express, and I said, I'll meet you in front of the check-in counter. Little did I know that it literally took it, because the rolling bag and all the gear on my back, it was heavy, and it was slowing me down by a lot. I couldn't run. So by the time I got there, I was already late, and got to the check-in. I think I had at least half hour, 40 minutes to get to the counter, but they wouldn't let me.
Yeah. Well, we were the three of us were the last people to board the plane. We were outside the gate waiting. And then the steward is like, well, you guys have to get on now. So we're like, okay.
Because my plan was to have, because it wouldn't have fit everything, all the stuff we bought, right? So my plan was to distribute amongst, at least between me and Garfield, all the stuff, so that I had all this gear on me, and that never happened.
I just remember we had checked in and we were at the gate, and then we were waiting, and then we saw Garfield starting to come towards us, and Kevin wasn't there. And then Garfield gets up to us and we're like, where's Kevin?
And he just gives us this look and he's like, I don't know. Because I think you were probably waiting for him at the check-in counter for a while before you just decided, all right, this is taking too long.
Well, at least nowadays there's cell phones.
Mm.
I remember for some reason I seem to think like my suitcase was pretty full. Maybe I was overpacking, or maybe I bought stuff. I think I bought stuff. I bought a lot of clothes.
You bought a lot of stuff at G2000, didn't
I
you?
bought a lot of clothes. And I think I also bought clothes in Japan as well.
Oh yeah, the suit company.
Yeah. Like whenever I go to Japan, I always bring like a big giant suitcase with me because I know I'm going to be buying stuff.
So we had a flight from Hong Kong to Toronto, but Kev was going from Japan straight back to Toronto.
Yep.
And then Kev's flight arrives before ours, I think. So you were there, you were waiting with our mom and Hannah. And then me and Michael, our flight landed. But then when we're about to get through to the waiting area, we got pulled aside and they had to look through our luggage. So then we were like already super tired from the long flight, from 12-hour flight, I guess. No, from Hong Kong, 18-hour flight.
Jeez.
And then we get pulled aside and we had to wait for the security to go through our luggage. Then we had to get out. Yeah, that was hard. I don't remember.
That's happened to me a few times going to Japan. If I was taking my metalworking tools with me, it goes to the metal detector and they're like, hey, what's this big, because it was in a tool roll, so it'd be all rolled up so it would look like a big lump of metal. So of course alarm bells, and every single time I've gone over, they've stopped me and told me to unpack everything. I got used to it.
Bring in our swords, actually. Bring in our swords through Japan customs. They actually open it up and check.
Yeah.
Oh, and we were told something about you can't bring in metal, so they'll have a
magnet. They check it with a magnet
Yeah.
to make sure that it's not real steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Japan, steel swords are licensed.
Yeah.
There's like a sword registry over there.
Yeah, you've got to fill out all sorts of paperwork to take swords into the country and to take them out of the country. That's why the visiting sensei always bring Iaido.
Well, I also wouldn't want to bring a $10,000 sword across.
No.
We went to get, I got a box of takoyaki. I took one bite and I threw out the rest because it was so gross.
I think you gave it to me.
Was it?
Yeah, you didn't like it, so you gave the rest to me.
I hated it. Like I never knew.
You know what? It's the sauce is weird.
No,
Yeah,
I've had the sauce and other stuff. The sauce is the same as okonomiyaki sauce, and I can have okonomiyaki. But the takoyaki itself is nasty.
What's up, Garfield?
I was just looking at that picture too.
I think it's a toothpick.
Oh, it was a takoyaki stick.
Oh,
It's probably that.
yeah, probably.
Probably Western tourist.
When I travel now, I feel like the Westerners in Japan. I'm always the one who's always, oh, there's an Asian dude. All right, solidarity.
Oh.
Like going to North Carolina, checking in, and I see this Asian guy checking in too. And we're like, we look at each other, it's like, yes, another Asian guy. And we just get a, a head nod, and then just it's like acknowledge, yep, we're the only Asian guys around here.
I have a memory of time in Tokyo, but this was a separate trip from the 2007 one. The three of us were at a traffic light, and we were just waiting for the light to turn green. And there was a family of I think Americans behind us. So in front of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just waiting. And then suddenly one of us just spoke, but we're speaking in English. And all four heads quickly just turned around and looked at us.
Well, that actually would have been very similar to one of my experiences in Hong Kong. When I was there, my grandparents' maid or nanny or whatever, housekeeper, she was a strong Filipino lady, right? So she's like throwing my luggage into the taxi, and I'm hearing a little kid speaking Cantonese. So I was like, okay. Then I heard their mom, who was behind me, speaking Cantonese as well, but with a little bit of an accent. I was like, oh, okay. So I turn around. It's like a white lady and her child who's obviously not Chinese, speaking better Chinese than we can. It was like, oh, because like from behind, like I thought it would have been like a normal Hong Konger kid, with maybe a Chinese parent who came from Canada or something. But yeah, it was just that was a weird experience. So that's almost as close.
Oh, there's that French fry machine.
Yeah.
Patrick sleeping with Hannah all the time.
It's so true.
Were we doing laundry there or not?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, we were.
Oh.
But this is the point where I would have, I basically was like, I took a lot more clothes than I needed.
Because we tried to do laundry at
picture of the
Shinjuku, Washington
onigiri.
as well.
Onigiri.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was on a different floor in a different
Oh,
building.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yaki tarako.
Yes, that's my favorite.
No, it's nasty as well.
The thing I remember most about that trip was just being really, really excited to do all the things that we were going to do, but being hyper aware of not speaking the language and that there was going to be things that I missed and that I was going to be so dependent on everybody else to kind of keep things going. When I travel, I usually am very independent, but going to a country where the language is completely different. Like if I go to Spain or if I go to France, like I can get by. But going to Japan, there was just no way. So
I don't know. There's a lot of English though.
And that's what made it helpful. But I was hyper aware of that. There was, what am I trying to say? Like I was really excited about it, but I was very aware that I was not going to be as independent as I'm accustomed to.
Yeah. But also that trip though let me know that it is possible to get by without
absolutely
speaking the language, because I saw there was so much English signage, all the trains and everything.
Well, in Tokyo,
yeah. Going to Tokyo, there was like all the English voices, computerized voices. I actually bought a suit, I bought a couple suit, a jacket and some other stuff when I was at the suit company. And they didn't speak any English, but I was able to kind of get by with just like pointing.
The thing about Japan too,
they kind of understood, sort of understood me, right?
Well, if you're going into a suit shop, then obviously you're there to buy a suit. Measure me up.
But to Kev's point about like the language thing in Japan, I think that we all could get by enough, but I think especially for a trip like this, there's just this lingering amount of stress that's hovering below the surface that we can't kind of talk about. But then when we get super tired or blah, 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 then things could come out. So
that's sort of low level frustration.
Yeah, it's not something that you can really put your finger on, but after spending a week or more there, you're just a little more on edge, I feel like.
But at the same time, you've been in the middle of it for a while, and you've gotten used to it. So you're still on edge, but you're accustomed to it, and you have a better idea of what your limitations are. Like when we started off in Ohara, like there was no way if I had gone there just by myself.
Yeah,
there's no
I would agree with you. To go to Ohara, I would definitely say.
But even Osaka and Kyoto, like there was a bit of English there, but not to the same extent as in Tokyo. Like going to Tokyo now, like I still haven't bothered learning a lot of Japanese, but I'm fine going to Tokyo. Like I can get around, I can make myself understood, it's fine. But anywhere else, like I think I need to have somebody to go, I need somebody to go with me.
I would need someone to pick me up. And that's what happened that time, that going from Hong Kong to China on my own, I had to have someone pick me up and try, because I didn't know what to do after customs. And it was a worrying experience, and that's something I definitely don't want to do again.
Was that a language thing or a cultural thing though?
Yeah, everything.
You mean going to China or going to Hong Kong?
Going to China. So going to Hong Kong, from Hong Kong, I took Air China Transit, whatever, a prop plane or something down to China. And when I got off, like I didn't know what to do, because obviously they look at you and going, yeah, he speaks Chinese, and they start speaking to you and I'm like, no, don't know what you're talking about. And they get frustrated, and I there's the communication barrier, and it's like, all right, stamp, go.
We had that issue. Like Patrick and I when we went to Beijing, they looked at our Canadian passports and then they pulled us aside, and we had no idea what they were talking about. And eventually they let us through, but we don't even know what they were doing. Oh, really? The interesting thing too is when they ask you if you speak Mandarin, they don't actually say that. They say, do you speak Chinese? And like the first time we were there, we're like, yeah, Cantonese is Chinese. I speak Chinese. But they actually mean Mandarin.
Yeah.
All right. So quick, just round for each person. If you were to tell someone one thing about this trip that was most memorable, what would you say?
It was tiring.
No, and a specific experience, not general.
That was a specific experience. I was very tired.
You're tired for the whole trip.
I was very tired when I was in Osaka.
It would have to be a toss-up between training at the Musashi Dojo and videoing the macaques in Nagano, rather.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's definitely the snow monkeys, and being able to train martial arts somewhere else that's different. That there's years and like a long time of history going there. It's not like going to New York or going to Hawaii and watching them do Iaido there or something like that. It's a different location, but it doesn't bring that feeling, that closeness to the art that you are interested in practicing.
In a way, training in Japan, it made me more open to it. In a way, it made me, more attuned to the instruction that I was getting, just because, we're in the home of it. Not to say that I never pay attention or anything like that, but there's just because you've made the effort to go to the heart of it. I felt like I was a lot more open to everything that was going on, everything that was happening around me, like my own practice, the correction and the instruction that I was getting, just watching all of your practice as well. I felt like I could see more, and I did see a lot of things that I completely missed training here in Canada. So that was a huge eye opener. The idea of like what is required to open your eyes.
I don't want to sound really bad, but it feels more authentic. Aside from like we have Omi Sensei teaching at us at the time, right? But to go there and to be actually trained by a whole big ass group of Japanese people, it literally then brought it home. Like this felt like a real art and doing martial arts somewhere.
Yeah, it's more authentic when you can't understand what the instructors are saying, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I would use the word authentic, but it does. Back to the language barrier thing. It does force you to pay close attention to what you're being shown. Like do it this way instead of having somebody. And this is not a criticism of how we're taught here, but for the most part, we're explained to here. Whereas in Japan, that's really not an option if your instructor doesn't speak English. So they have to show you, and you have to pay close attention to what they're showing you. Otherwise, what's the point? Cut this way. Okay, I'm going to try to cut that way. Do this with your feet. All right, I'm going to do that with my feet. And that's it's a very stripped down, direct way of transmission of knowledge. And it's a real test of how open you are to that.
The other thing we have to remember too is like those senseis are one of the best in Japan itself. Like we weren't just going to any random place.
No, exactly. That was back to the stress of that trip. Like I don't want to make myself look like an idiot, and I don't want to make my sensei look like an idiot. So all right, I got to pay attention to what's going on here.
Garfield, what's your memory?
Tokyo opened up my eyes to the opportunities for more shopping overseas.
Yeah.
Was that your first time to Tokyo? I thought you had gone.
It's my first time to Asia in general, basically, aside from being when I was like little. So I was like, oh my God, I can buy stuff off the rack.
Actually, almost everything I wear is from Hong Kong. The size, everything just fits better.
Yeah, like the pants are shaped the right way, and like I can wear suits off the rack when I'm buying stuff like at Uniqlo. Uniqlo was pretty eye-opening, and the suit company. So, and then I don't know if I was like heavy into buying alcohol yet in Japan, but that first trip, but clothes, and I love the food. So then like Japan, like Tokyo just became like a shopping and eating trip for me that I, did a few times afterwards. I liked it there.
2009 trip, we had to take some of your booze back for you.
I don't think you guys did. I don't think you guys did.
There was one trip we had to take someone's booze.
Yeah, well, he didn't claim it, and then he got caught. I think he bought more than.
Oh, I was way over on one trip.
And you didn't claim, and then you got caught.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh
well.
You just got to pay some tax on it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson there.
It was still all right. I think what screwed me up was carrying the extra cigarettes on me, so that they could see the cigarettes. And I was over on the cigarettes. So then once they knew I was over on the cigarettes, they just wanted to open up my suitcase and check everything. If I wasn't carrying all those cigarettes on me, I would have been fine, I think. But the lady, the airport security lady was nice. She, even though I was totally scamming the government, she was very professional. And I think she only charged me duties and taxes on the cigarettes and the booze. She didn't charge me for all the all the clothes that I bought. So anyways,
I'm pretty sure it happens a lot. You wouldn't be the first. I mean, watching border security,
Such a great show.
From here on in, I go like, yep, not doing that every
They know what
they're
they're
doing.
doing. They know what to look for.
Yeah, but at least I didn't get blacklisted from that. So I'm I was like very thankful for that afterwards, because you hear horror stories about people who've, after they've been caught like trying to sneak a whole bunch of stuff back over, they somehow get flagged in the system and then they just get pulled over every single time afterwards.
Well, they probably make a scene as well, as opposed to just acknowledging that they've been caught and dealing with it. They probably just make a huge scene.
Yeah, I didn't make a huge scene. I said, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
I can't picture you making a huge scene.
So they
a big freak out in the middle of the
I'm sorry, you caught me.
yeah, you got me. Yeah.
Good work.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, my laptop's gonna run out of batteries.
I can just quickly say, my main thing I may remember from this trip is actually just going places without knowing the destination or where I'm actually going. So like I said, walking from the train station from Ohara, I didn't even know where we're going. We're just going to Musashi Dojo, but I don't know what it looks like. So we're just walking in the dark and waiting for Trevor's car to come back and pick us up. And same thing at Nagano. We're just walking in the dark. We don't know what the ryokan we're going to looks like either. We're just hoping we get there, but we don't know how far it is either. So all trips since then, I actually know what it looks like. Like you research first and you're like, okay, this is where I'm going. But yeah, this trip I remember going a lot of places without even knowing what it will be like when we get there.
There was a lot of trust in the planning, I noticed.
Yeah.
Well, considering that Angie had pretty much made a book,
Yeah, we had a booklet. Everybody had their own sheets of paper all stapled together, and
no, mine wasn't stapled. Mine was in a.
It was in a folder.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, and I couldn't find it. I know I've seen it somewhere in the house, and every time I was like, oh, I got to put it away.
But training-wise, because I've trained a few times at least in Japan since then, so I don't remember that trip being extra memorable for training. And actually, even when people ask me, oh, what's the best part of training in Japan? I'd just say the food. Really like the food there or anything. I just like, oh, I love training in Japan. Why? Oh, because I go for food afterwards and it's so good.
But I can say that's about anywhere I go aside from training. Like wherever I go, always the food that's the most memorable.
Yeah.
Like sausage.
Sausage
burgers.
Always goes to McDonald's.
That's so funny that's your takeaway from that trip.
I tell you, like when you're homesick, McDonald's is the only thing that can, because they're very uniform. Like one time I went to London, I was like couldn't get anything to eat. I was like, all right, McDonald's it is.
It's funny you say that, because that one time where I've been to mainland China, it was my first time overseas, period. And we went into the local town and they had a KFC there. So of course I went into KFC and it was so good.
Yep, did the same thing. I remember going to Beijing and I was just feeling homesick. My dad took me to A&W's, just didn't cut it. And then we went to a McDonald's and I had a Big Mac and I was like, I'm not homesick. I feel like I'm at home. I'm in McDonald's and I'm eating a Big Mac. It helps with the homesickness.
There's an A&W's in China?
In Beijing. And it wasn't until we got into Shanghai that I had really, really greasy KFC. I found would have been on par on what the KFC tastes like here now. Some places are really, really greasy and oily.
Patrick, what's your takeaway from the trip?
My biggest would probably be the walk to the ryokan in the monkey park.
Where we almost died. Yeah. Right.
I remember it so vividly. I don't know.
Yeah, so do I.
Because I remember the rain turning to snow.
Yeah.
It was raining first and then it was like, hey, wait, it's snowing now.
Because we were all so hyper aware of what was happening. Like, where are we going? So you notice everything that's going on around you. Everything.
I remember the sound of the rain on the ground. I can remember kind of.
I don't remember any of that. I was just miserable.
It was like the path was slippery because of the mud and the leaves that were on the ground. Like I remember being so terrified of slipping off of that narrow path, tumbling down the embankment.
And then
I remember lugging around a garment bag.
finally seeing it out in the distance and then walking across and then them getting us all dried up.
Well, it was all dark, and we saw like some lights in a distant building on a hill. So, is that it? Is that it? And then we're
Doesn't matter. We're going there.
It'll be different now. Everybody's cell phone has a light now, so
Yeah.
we'd have a lot more light.
Oh yeah, and we would have Googled that shit long.
yeah,
before.
you can GPS it now, right?
Yeah.
You can Google Map it.
But I also remember when we left and we went out the main path that we should have taken, and
That was way easier
just thinking, oh man,
and safer.
we went about this all the wrong way.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have had a story to tell either.
Nope, you're quite right. As much as miserable as I think I remember it, it's the most memorable trip for sure. Because
So actually, we started on a paved road, right? We
Yes.
were on the road, but then we just walked off it.
No, we follow
But-
the sign.
There's a sign, yeah. But technically, if we followed the road, we would have made it actually there.
I was just following you guys. At
Yeah.
this point,
I know, that's the thing, because
For all I know, it was a sign that said Monkey Park is not in this direction. I was just going by what
Chainsaw Massacre acts people this
yeah,
way.
cabin in the woods this way.
I think that's one of the reasons. The other reasons too is because I saw the sign and I was like, I don't even know if this is real, but I'd rather just keep moving. So I was kind of heading up, and then I was looking around, and everyone was unhappy. I was like, no, this is the right way. I'm sure of it. We're gonna keep going.
So we blame Patrick. That's my takeaway.
And then except for Kev's, all of our bags have wheels. But Hannah's bag luckily had straps, so I strapped on her bag, and then I was lifting up my bag.
It's
So
the
I
same
do-
bag. She has the same bag as me because I remember going
Oh,
to
yeah,
Mac
yeah.
with her. I still have that bag.
Yeah, we still have that bag too.
It's a trophy now.
All right, this was really fun. Thank you for all joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a stroll down memory lane.
We need to do this again in a less official capacity soon.
With whiskey and some cognac.
Well, we can rewatch some other videos too, like some other ones Kev's made, because those are compilations of events.
We should watch some Ganryu.
Oh yeah.
All right, get some rest and have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
We'll talk
It's
again.
been fun. Take care. See you
All right.
guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode because we have a lot more exciting conversations to share as we explore the world of the traditional Japanese martial arts. The Inside Look podcast is available on most common podcasting platforms and on YouTube. Remember to subscribe to not miss out on new interviews as they are posted. We're always looking for feedback to improve, so please write us a review or drop us a line at podcast@tokushikai.ca or on Facebook and Instagram at tokushikai.canada. Until next time, thanks for listening.